Gegography Notes Humidity by Mohan Kumar Iasstudy Group. So let's start. First of all, we will talk about what is humidity. The humidity characterizes the humidity of the air, either amount of water in gaseous form present in moist air or another gas in certain industrial applications. It does not take into account the water present as liquid or solid. Three types of humidity is defined. Each has its related measure. Absolute, the amount of water in gaseous form, vapor, in a volume of air, in volume per unit mass. Relative, the absolute humidity in proportion to the maximum value for a given temperature, expressed as a percentage. Specific, the relationship between two masses, the water contained in gaseous form in an air volume and that of the air volume. In meteorology, the relative humidity often called, is one of the main amounts identified and modeled. It is measured with a hygrometer or a thermohygrometer for temperature and humidity are two interdependent parameters. Section General tables that summarize the properties physical and thermodynamic air refer to area, that is to say, in the absence of any water vapor. Indeed, the humidity of the air is variable in space and time, on the scale of a few hours or less, for example when it rains or when dew forms, and non-uniform in the scale of hundreds meters and sometimes even the meter, so it is impossible to define standard properties of the ambient air. The air humidity is mainly influenced by the amount of available water, temperature and current weather. The properties of the moist air deflect strongly, because the proportion of water vapor can reach up to 4% by volume under normal weather conditions. The lift of the air, the transport of light, odors, some molecules, some perfumes, hormones, the range of sounds, the transparency of the air, the acidity and the air pollution, the halos or light pollution, H, are thus affected by the humidity. Water vapor is also one of gases' greenhouse greatest. The evaporation of water from the oceans, the rivers and clouds, the wind and the transpiration and evapotranspiration are sources of increasing or regulating the humidity in nature, all of which depend for all or part of the solar energy and life. In anthropized or confined environment, home, car, workplace, water vapor exhaled by humans, the water emitted from chimneys and exhaust pipes become crucial to explain the changes in humidity of air. Without crop evapotranspiration, urban air densities is abnormally dry. Paradoxically, over the sea or lake, even in tropical air can be much drier than under the canopy. In the desert, air is extremely dry during the day but can be wet at night. At constant amount of water vapor, a temperature decrease tends to increase the relative humidity until saturation, 100% relative humidity. The temperature then corresponds to the dew point. The partial pressure of water vapor is equal to the saturation pressure. Air currents bring moisture in areas upper atmosphere, dry regions. Variations in humidity are damped by the presence of adabsorbent materials, plaster, wood, and the couplings between trade, steam, energy, evapotranspiration, ground wind, wind, dew formation and evaporation.